characters, incidents, names, and situations used in this story are fictitious. The resemblance to any person living or dead is purely coincidental. The following video contains some horror elements and suitable for a mature audience, 16 plus. This channel and video is not for kids. Hello friends, I am Arian, and welcome to our channel, Midnight Horror Stories, where you get to hear true and scary ghost stories. But before starting the story, all the friends who have come to this channel for the first time, please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the story, then definitely introduce yourself in the comment section. Then let's do not take much time and start our story quickly. The story that I have brought for you today, it becomes very important for you to know. Actually, the holiday season is going on at this time, so there is a roaming atmosphere, and it is going to rain very soon. So all of you guys will definitely go somewhere for trekking. So you go to such a place which is very exciting. It is a mountainous area where cold air blows. But due to this adventure, many times we do not understand a lot. They make mistakes. When we go to a new place, we don't even know it very well. We can see a lot of archaeological things there. Many temples are visible. Now we think that every temple belongs to God. But temples also have their own differences. Like if you go to normal villages, there are their local folk gods whom they worship, and often their shadows come in other human beings, which you will often see in the village, and they show their form inside the same person and whatever questions they ask them. If you accidentally disturb their folk deity, harm them or wake them up from some sleep, then as their form is good, the more terrible is their bad form, and in that they can also do great harm to anyone. Because they are folk gods, there is no God. God is omnipresent, they can never harm you. But folk gods have some such power that if you disturb them, they harm you. So the story that is there today is that of Himachal. It is of a small village where some people went to roam, and there was their folk god, and they made some mistakes due to curiosity without knowing anything, and that folk god fell behind them. And then the form that was seen blew the senses of all those friends. So as I told you that this is the story of Manpur, a small village in Himachal. The village is a small hill village situated on a small hill. There will be hardly 15 to 20 houses. In this village, they are also far away from each other. Being surrounded by large mountains on three sides and deep moat on one side, both the beauty of this village and its inaccessibility are amazing in themselves. This is the reason that due to the low population and its captivating natural environment, this village has become a stronghold of trekking tourism. Often people go here for trekking and camping. This story is also about one such group who are trekking in the deep part of the forest. They had come out. They carried cameras, food, and everything they wanted with them. They set up their camp in the middle of the forest away from people's homes, and then lit a campfire at night and were enjoying their trip by sitting around it and playing songs. He spent that night doing full anxiety. The next day, he had a plan to go on the track, and he was all very excited about his plan. There were 6 boys in the group: Manu, Amar, Kamal, Amit, Sachin, and Parveen. They were both friends and colleagues. Weekend to enjoy, those people had made this plan, which was also very good and successful. But by that one night, none of them knew what was going to happen next. The next morning, according to their plan, they set out for trekking. However, despite being in the middle of a dense forest, there was no predatory animal in that area. There was only fear of one bear, and the bears do not attack seeing so many people at once. In such a situation, they had no special fear of him. They are making vogues, making their journey memorable were. They were doing photography and were moving forward while doing a lot of wildlife engineering. Meanwhile, in the afternoon, he saw a good place and laid a sheet there so that he could sit there and sit a little sluggish and also have his lunch. They were also a little tired due to continuous walking for a long time. Therefore, they had made up their minds not to go any further and return so that they could reach their camps before dusk. Sitting there, they had their lunch and then lay down there to rest. One of his friends, Amit, was caught on camera. While shooting the place, I came a little farther away from them. The beautiful green forests of Himachal attract everyone's mind. He also wanted to record the beauty of those forests in his camera. At the same time, he also wanted to make his social profile impressive. Just in this tune, he came out inside the forest. There, a little ahead of him, there was a small ditch where it could be easily lowered, that inside he saw an old-looking temple-like structure, which Amit was very surprised to see. It came to his mind that he was in this place. It can also be a temple. "I can't believe this," he said to himself, and as he said this, he ran with great speed towards his friends. Seeing him running away like this, his friends said, "Hey, brother Amit, what happened to you? Did you see any bear in the forest? Did you listen to him?" Answering Amit, "Oh no man, Manu Amar Yar. I have seen the structure of an old temple in a small ditch on that side of it. Man, I have come to tell you, I think we should go there." As soon as he listened, he had another friend Kamal said, "So what is there to tell in the vote? What will be a temple of a local god? What should we go to and why should we go there?" As soon as we hear Kamal's talk, his friend Sachin said, "Kamal is right. If there is a temple inside the Amit trench, then it must be of a local god whose worship and rituals are different. We should not forget to go there without the company of any local person. This can be dangerous." On hearing the words of both of them, their other friend Parveen laughed and said, "Yar Sachin Yar, some temple. You also have to find a local person to go in. It's not much. Man, how scared you guys are. What are we going to do wrong things by going there? We'll go. We'll see. If you understand something, then it is okay, or else you will return after seeing the structure and the statue. What will happen to it? After only it is a temple, no cemetery." As soon as he heard Parveen's words, Amit immediately reacted and said, "Yes, man, Guy is a temple. Which one am I talking about walking into? Let's go, man. Are you guys as much? Are you being a coward, man?" On hearing Parveen and Amit's talk, Manu and Amar also agreed to go there and see that temple. But now Kamal also had no special problem in going there. But Sachin did not feel right to go there. But when his 5 friends insisted, he could not avoid them, and they all followed Amit in the direction where he had seen the temple. After going a short distance, pointing them all toward the ditch, Amit said, "Look at the guys. That is the temple. We can come down from here." A small trail, pointing to Amit said, listening to Amit and seeing the structure of that temple, they all longed to see him, and with the help of that trail, slowly holding each other's hands and supporting each other, they descended into that ditch. The chasm wasn't too deep, so they did not have much trouble going down and down. Yes, there was a deep ditch on the side of the temple, so deep that if someone's foot slips, he will go straight to Yamlock. But the courtyard of the temple was fine, where 8 to 10 people could stand comfortably together. That on seeing the temple and its structure, Parveen said, "Wow, what a beautiful place. We couldn't have asked for a better place to shoot our vogues. In fact, this place is very spectacular and at the same time surprising. Such a nice temple structure in such a small moat and such a deep moat below, it's amazing." On hearing this, Amit immediately reacted and said, "Hey man, that's why I have brought you here. Our trip to Himachal will take 4 moons with the shooting of this block. It's wonderful. If we shoot in this place, we will get millions of views." He finished by saying, "I guaranteed." His excitement was palpable. Thinking of this, they started shooting in the area of that temple. The temple wasn't very big. There was a small temple, and outside there was a small courtyard where 8 to 10 people could stand. There was a strange idol inside the temple, which was of an unknown deity, whose face looked like a monster. His long hair and long beard were making him frightening, his white stone on it. The big eyes made of it made him even more strange. And the most important thing was that the idol had horns on its forehead. Never before had they seen such a form of an idol of any deity. The idol's mouth was open, out of which his large teeth and strong jaw were clearly visible. That idol looked more like a demon than a god. Seeing that strange idol, they were all surprised, and looking at it, Kamal said, "Hey man, I do not understand which god's idol is this, brother. Before today, we have never had such a statue." Listening to him, Sachin said, "Hey man, Kamal, you had told me it would not be the idol of a local god whom we do not know." Supporting his point, Manu said, "Sachin is right, Amit, who was still shooting the structure of the temple while making a vogue. He had now also started shooting the idol of that strange-looking deity. While shooting the picture of the idol, he started touching the idol in overexcitement. As soon as he touched the statue, he felt a strange sensation, and it was strange not only to him, but to those 6 friends. I began to experience. They felt that something strange was suddenly happening in the forest. The trees started shaking, and a strange sound was heard in the air. It's like a lot of jackals or wolves crying together. These sudden events created a pent-up fear in the minds of all of them. But without paying much attention to these things, friends thought that this is probably a normal activity in the forest. It is normal for all these things to happen inside the forest. But things seemed so unusual to him, so he soon realized that now they should get out of that place. And thinking of this, they all immediately left from there. But the atmosphere outside was not good at all. There was a storm outside, and in such a situation, those 6 friends were having a lot of trouble climbing up that narrow trail. But in that deteriorating environment, they all wanted to reach their camp as soon as possible, so that it reaches its awning safely before the weather gets bad. But in that blindness, it had become a very risky factor for him, coming out of the ditch and reaching your camp. In that storm, they felt that they were lost in the forest. They had lost their way and no longer knew where they were. It was getting dark in the forest and the friends were scared. They took each other's hands and walked together, comforting each other. But they felt that someone was following them. This feeling was as horrible to him as he had to face death. On the other hand, the evening was beginning to fall, because of which their fear increased. Suddenly, he heard a voice that sounded like she was taking names. They couldn't figure out where that voice was coming from, but they felt that this voice was calling them, because of which the fear in the minds of all of them was so much that they were running away holding each other's hands. But as fast as they were running, that voice was chasing them just as fast. They were all breathless. They did not understand what was happening to those people. Suddenly, all of them felt something like a sharp jolt together. It felt like something very heavy. It hit people's chests, and then darkness fell in front of their eyes. After that, he felt as if someone had thrown him hard into the air. When they fell, they opened their eyes and found themselves again in the same temple from where they had escaped. Seeing themselves fall in the courtyard of the same temple, they were shocked because they remembered very well that they had come out of that ditch by holding each other's hands. Then how did they reach back to the temple? Thinking of all this, his condition was getting worse. That's the storm. As soon as the storm came to that temple, everything was completely calm, because of which he got some peace of mind. But the fear was that how did he reach that temple? What was the energy that had thrown him back to that temple? This question kept coming up in his mind again and again. At the same time, I was feeling scared in my mind. Well, somehow they managed each other and slowly got up while holding each other, and all of them had a lot of injuries in their bodies because the way they almost flew in the air, like a leaf in the air. But he had fallen. It had a lot of strength on his back and waist. Therefore, it was not possible for him to get up immediately. They had just risen from the ground, holding each other together, when suddenly someone started slapping them on the cheeks. They couldn't see what was killing them, just the sound of loud slaps on their cheeks, and their screams echoed in the whole atmosphere. The blows of those slaps were so fast that they were colliding from one corner of the temple wall to the other. The condition of all of them was worsened by that assault. "Who are you? Why are you killing us? What have we done wrong to you?" As soon as he heard Sakin's words, the slaps on him suddenly stopped, due to which all of them breathed a sigh of relief because their cheeks were swollen by those wildly slaps. But the next moment, suddenly they heard the sound of someone breathing fast behind them. It seemed as if someone was standing next to him, taking deep breaths, but they didn't see anyone there. Just that voice was heard continuously, and before they could understand anything from that voice, their friend Amit, who was sitting near a wall of that temple, was lurking in fear. Suddenly, he began to wash his head vigorously. When his friends listened carefully to that voice, they understood that the voice was coming from inside Amit, which they were very scared to hear. But still daring, Manu agreed and went slowly and placed his hand on Amit's shoulders and called out to him, "Amit, what happened? You? Why are you behaving this way?" But Amit did not respond to her question. He was constantly searching for his head. The speed of his search had increased due to the questioning of, in fact, Manu. At the same time, he was breathing heavily. Long breaths whose voice was trembling the soul of all those friends. They were already very scared. In such a situation, Amit's behavior was troubling him even more. Disappointed by this, Manu repeated his question once again. Manu looked at Amit, almost shouting, "What are you doing, man, Amit? Please try to understand. Stop it all." As soon as he heard her, Amit's search stopped, and he looked at Manu with the same anger. At that time, there was such a dreadful redness in his eyes as if there was blood in his eyes at this time. Seeing him looking at him like this, Manu got very scared and he immediately ran to his friends. At that time, Amit's eyes were big and red. Looking at them, it seemed that there was blood in his eyes. She became bloodthirsty. Yes. Seeing that redness on his eyes, all the friends were very frightened. They did not understand what was happening to them suddenly and why it was happening. In such a situation, showing courage, once again looking at Amit. What is all this? Amit, what are you doing? Hearing Sachin's question, Amit started searching his head loudly and exhaling long exhales and said, "Why did you wake me up? Why did you wake me up?" Hearing that very scary voice from his mouth, all the friends came in panic due to fear, because coming from Amit's mouth, his voice wasn't his voice. There was a strange heaviness and hoarseness in his voice. Along with that, he was also constantly searching for his head. It was also very loudly that all those friends had seen such a thing for the first time in their lives. They did not understand how to handle this situation, how to handle Amit. There was only one tune on Amit. He was constantly saying the same thing. Why did you wake me up? Why did you wake me up? And at the same time, he was just looking for his own vigor. Seeing his condition, all those friends understood that with him, there must be some problem. But what and how to handle it, it was beyond their comprehension. In such a situation, showing courage, Sachin made an unsuccessful attempt to touch him, which cost him a very strong blow. Amit jerked it hard with his hand and threw it away towards the wall and started screaming loudly. "Get out of here! Get out of here! Otherwise I'll kill you! I'll kill them all!" Other friends went and handled Sachin, and looking at him, Kamal said, "Man, there has been some problem with Sachin Amit, man. We are looking at it. We can't fix it. I think we should get out of here before this trouble moves towards us. We should get out of here." Now Kamal's talk was over, that while reprimanding him, Amar said, "There, Trubesh Kamal, we cannot leave Amit alone at this place in such a condition. He is our friend. We do not leave him like this." You can understand that the anger was clearly visible in Amar's voice. Manu Parvain and Sachin also supported his point and said, "Amar is absolutely right. Kamal, we do not leave Amit in this condition. No matter what, we'll take him with us." As soon as he heard the words of the four of them, Kamal looked at them and said, "How will you take it? You are looking at its condition. Something has happened to it. Something has entered it. And anyway, all this mess has been created by this. Neither it would have brought us here to this temple, nor would all this be happening to us. When it is its fault, then we will also suffer the same. Why risk your life for the sake of it? If you have to walk, then walk, or else I am going." Explaining his points in front of them, Kamal said, "This is his form." Seeing this, all the friends were surprised that how could he be so selfish? But finally, Kamal showed his true form. When friends refused to accompany him, he left alone. But he did not know how much more problematic it could be for him to go alone like this. He just wanted to get out of there so that he could save his life. Keep yourself safe. But when selfishness dominates the human mind, then it is sure to fall again. Leaving his friends in trouble, Kamal thinks only of himself. I got out of that place. But he didn't know how big trouble was following him. Walking along the trail, Kamal came out of the chasm. He was constantly moving towards his camp with the help of the torch of his mobile. It was only then that he realized that someone else was walking along with him. At first, Kamal thought maybe it was his fault. But as he looked at the rhythm of that step, it became clear to him that the sound of his feet was clearly heard, as well as the sound of someone else walking. On hearing this, Kamal's senses became cold. Just as he walked, he would stop. Along with him, the sound would also stop. And as he took his steps forward, that voice would also run parallel to him. Seeing and hearing all this, sweat started dripping from Kamal's forehead. He was sweating in the cold of Himachal. The fear and panic had become so much that Kamal was taking his breath in a muffled voice. Or rather, his breath was stuck in his circle. He didn't want to make even the smallest sound and just wanted to get to his camp as quickly as possible. He felt that he was absolutely safe after going to the camp. It will be. Well, his efforts were successful and he reached his camp, gaining victory over his fears. But after reaching there, things started to get worse with him. He was sitting quietly in the light of the charging lamp with his camp jeep locked. He felt that he was completely safe now. Nothing will happen to him now. But the next moment, his illusion was shattered with a loud voice. There was light in his camp, so he could see a little bit of things outside his camp. Same lights. In the morning, he saw a very strange-looking, demon-like man standing in front of his camp, whose height was at least 10 to 15 feet. He had a rosary in one hand and a big sickle-like weapon in the other. His eyes were dark red, and his well-groomed body was beautiful. His face did not match that of humans or animals. The demon-like man was seen by Kamal from inside his tent, that too in a very dim light. Despite this, his condition had worsened after seeing him. Fear, his whole body was numb. Sweat was flowing like water from his whole body. The beats had increased and Rome had trembled. He had never seen anything so horrible before. At that moment, all the blood in his body was completely frozen with fear and dread. Kamal's condition had become such at that time as if he was not a living person, but a clay effigy. He wanted to scream. I wanted to run away from there. But both his body and his voice were completely stiff. It seemed as if his whole body was paralyzed. Kamal couldn't even handle himself yet. It was then that the monster figure ripped through his camp with his sharp fingernails. Seeing death right in front of him, Kamal's body suddenly ran like a current, and I do not know how a spurt came in his numb body, and he ran away from there, screaming very fast. Running desperately with brisk steps, he collided with something in front of him, which made him scream, and he was just about to fall, uncomfortable, when suddenly two strong hands caught him. What happened to Kamal? The man who took care of him took his name, asked him. Hearing his name from his mouth and hearing a familiar voice, Kamal recovered a little and slowly raised his eyes and looked at the man who had saved him from falling. On seeing that man, Kamal's life came to life because those two hands that took care of him belonged to none other than his friend Sachin. He was accompanied by his other friends Amar, Parveen, Manu, and Amit. Manu and Parveen held Amit by supporting him as he was not yet conscious. Amar was also helping those people, and Sachin was holding a mobile in his hand. He was making a path for them with the help of a torch. They had somehow reached their camp, wandering here and there in the forest and getting entangled in thorns. At the same time, he heard the scream of the lotus. On hearing this, Sachin and Amar immediately ran in the direction of that voice for his helper. Then he saw Lotus running from the front in a desperate condition. Seeing him, Sachin and Amar stopped at the same place. They thought that maybe Kamal would also stop on his own after seeing them there. But nothing of the sort happened. Kamal was so frightened that I didn't even see my friend standing in front of me. He was just running ahead looking backwards. And in this affair, he collided with Amar, which made both him and Amar uncomfortable. Kamal was about to fall when Sachin caught him. When Kamal saw Sachin and Amar in front of his eyes, his heart was relieved and he hurriedly touched Sachin's hands with both his hands, which were in Sachin's hands, and tried to convince himself that he was safe, and the hands that held him were his friends. It's Sachin's hands. When he was relieved, he breathed a sigh of relief, but his friends were shocked by his action. Therefore, asking him the reason for running away in such a desperate manner, Sachin said, "What happened, Kamal? Why are you so nervous? And where are you running away after so many nights?" As soon as he heard her question, Kamal said in a very nervous voice, pointing backwards with his hands. He, behind him, in the tent, there, Sachin, there, someone, very big, absolutely a monster. He wants to kill me, he will kill me, he will kill us, he will kill us, he will kill all of us. His words had completely surprised all those friends, and looking at him with the same surprised eyes, Sachin asked who but who? Who are you talking about? Who is Kamal? Answering his question there, Kamal said in a very nervous voice, "I don't know who he is. He is very big. Sachin is very big, and he also has very big nails. The big teeth, the face is not that of a human being, but of an animal. I don't understand who he is. An animal with a two-legged human body, or a demon, a ghost. I don't know who he is." Almost trembling with tears, Kamal told them his ordeal in a very nervous voice. After listening to his whole talk, Amar looked at Sachin and said, "I think there is something wrong here, Sachin. First Amit and now Kamal. I think we should go and see what is there." There and then, we have no other option. Amar let out a desperate sigh. Agreeing with him, Sachin said, "You are right, Amar. We have to go there and see." And then they all proceeded to their camps. Kamal was scared, so he was walking at the back. In fact, he didn't want to go there. But he went so far in that terrible forest that he had no other option, in addition to going with those. So he proceeded with them towards his camps. Go there and go to them. People saw that 2 camps were perfectly fine while 1 camp was completely destroyed. Looking at it, it seemed as if someone had deliberately torn it apart. But there was no such creature as Kamal had described. But seeing the condition of that 1 camp, they understood that something must have happened there. So without answering too many questions about it, they took shelter in those 2 camps in pairs of 3 each. They felt that they were now completely fine and safe in their camp. But maybe they didn't know. That's how dangerous the thing that was associated with them could be. Take shelter in your camp. They had just passed a few moments when suddenly they heard the sound of someone walking around their camps. Because of which Kamal was very scared, and in a very suppressed voice, he looked at Sachin and said, "Did you hear, Sachin? It's the same voice? The sound of that demon walking. I had heard the same sound before. Yes, I think he's here again. He won't spare any of us now." Kundal exhaled in a hushed voice. As soon as he heard this, Sachin noticed the voice, signaling him to be quiet, and tried to peep out from inside his camp. The beans were the same as Kamal had done before, but this time he was so scared that he had no courage to look back at the dreadful thing. So he hid his face behind his knees and closed his eyes completely. Her fear was evident in her expressions on her face. It could be seen clearly. On the other hand, Amar was also trying to see the person like Sachin, whose feet were constantly hearing him. In the second camp, Manu and Parvain were in the same situation. They could also hear the sound of heavy footsteps moving clearly, but I couldn't see anything outside. It was just that sound continuously. Tuck, tuck. They were just trying to look out when suddenly Amit started washing his head loudly once again. Seeing him do this act again, Manu and Parveen were killed. That's what happened. One is the sound of the footsteps of a very heavy person outside. Now seeing Amit's head again on him, both of them lost their city pity. On top of that, Sachin and Amar were also not there. Both of them. Only they both knew how terrible this situation was for them. At the same time, Amit started laughing loudly while washing his head loudly. He was laughing so loudly that the sound of his laughter could be heard clearly in the other camp, even by Kamal, Sachin and Amar. But they didn't recognize his voice, because the voice must have been coming from inside Amit, but it wasn't Amit's voice. So they felt that perhaps the unseen thing was moving around their camp. It's the sound of laughter too. Hearing this, the 3 of them were very scared and held each other's hands and sat in a corner of their camp, remembering God in their minds. Even worse was happening to Parveen and Manu, because there was a constant sound of a giant man's footsteps outside, and someone else was speaking from the body of their own friend Amit inside the camp. Truly at that time, the 2 of those who it is very difficult to describe in words the situation was happening. That condition of theirs can only be understood by feeling. Both of them were neither able to go out of their camp, nor were they safe with Amit in their camp. Because Amit had attacked him violently in that temple before. That's why both of them were very scared at that time. They understood that things were not right with Amit at all. He can attack them anytime. Thinking of this, his fear was increasing, like water from their bodies. Sweat was dripping. The throat was dry. The heartbeat had increased. The breath was caught in a circle. There was a frown on the forehead. They just sat there holding each other's hands and lurking quietly in the other corner of the camp. At the same time, Amit was loudly washing his head, and then the same thing he was saying in the temple. He repeated, "Why did you wake me up? Why did you wake me up?" When this voice fell in the ears of Sachin, Kamal, and Amar, all 3 of them also understood that things have started getting normal again with Amit. The sound of laughing out loud is also his. Now he speaks loudly. "I wanted a sacrifice. I want a sacrifice." After hearing all these things from Amit's mouth, they understood that whatever had started had happened only after they went to that temple. Whatever energy this is, it is attached to that temple. But what now? They didn't know anything about all these things. So how to face that which is not in front of their eyes? how to save yourself and your friend Amit from all these things which was completely in the possession of that supernatural power. When Amit's body, the voices coming from them became very violent. Then Sachin decided to go to his camp. On hearing this from his mouth, Amar and Kamal got stuck in breath, looked at Sachin with stony eyes and a voice very nervous and low trembling due to fear. Kamal said, "What are you saying? Sachin have gone mad. We have to get out of our camp to go to Amit's camp. And out there, he's a horrible monster. He's going to kill us." Amar also agreed with him and said, "Kamal is right. It's Sachin. You didn't hear what was coming from Amit's mouth. He needs a sacrifice. Do you understand what this means? Whatever energy she is thirsty for the blood of all of us. We made a big mistake by going to that temple. I don't think we should make another big mistake by going out of this camp now. But what about Manu and Parveen? Both of them are present in that camp with that dreadful energy. If that demonic power inside Amit does any harm to him, then the danger is as much as we are inside this camp. What is the guarantee that the demon, ghost who is there will not come inside this camp? He attacked Kamal while he was inside the camp. If he has to kill us, he can come inside the camp and kill us. Who's going to stop him? It is better that we go to our friends in this difficult time, and then maybe that energy does not attack us by being with all the people." Amar and Kamal also liked Sachin's point, and both of them decided to go with him to Amit's camp. Leah. They had taken this decision, but before opening the tongue of the camp, they were feeling a lot of fear in their minds. Even after they had fully strengthened their minds, they did not have the courage to open the zip of the camp and get out, because the sound of those footsteps was still coming in the same way. When even after trying for a long time, he did not dare to unlock the jeep of the camp, he finally resorted to God and played Hanuman Chalisa in his mobile phone. The sound of Hanuman Chalisa gave different support. They felt that whatever happens now, Bajrang Bali will see. Thinking of this, believing in the power of Hanuman Chalisa and Hanumanji, Amar and Sachin unlocked the jeep of the camp. Now it was time to get out. So Sachin came out of his camp first by playing Hanuman Chalisa in his mobile, using it as a weapon. Amar and Kamal also followed him and walked out of the house. As soon as those people came out, the sound of the footsteps stopped suddenly, due to which their fear was reduced a little, but not erased. They just wanted to go to Amit's camp as soon as possible, which was a short distance from their camp. So they rushed to the camp and called out to Manu and Parveen to unlock the jeep of the camp. But Manu and Parveen were so scared that they could not believe anything of the three of them. Both of them were not ready to accept that their friends were actually standing outside. Finally, Sachin Tendulkar's Hanuman Chalisa is playing in his mobile. He had to convince them that they were his friends, no ghosts or demons. Listening to Hanuman Chalisa, both of them also believed in their friends, because despite being surrounded by fear and panic, they were so conscious that no demon, ghost, or vampire would come to them with Hanuman Chalisa. This means those who are standing outside their camp are their friends. Convinced of this, Manu immediately unlocked the jeep of his camp. As soon as the jeep was unlocked, Sachin, Kamal, and Amar were in the camp of both of them. They entered. The camp was small. There was only a sleeping arrangement for 2 people. There were now 6 people in it, so it was obvious that they did not even have a proper place to sit in that camp. Amit was obsessed with him. He was constantly searching his head vigorously and repeating the same thing. "Why did you wake me up? Why did you wake me up? I want a sacrifice. I want a sacrifice." Seeing his condition, Sachin was not going to stay. Finally, he played Hanuman Chalisa again on his mobile. That too in full volume. Because of which Amit is he became more aggressive and tried to attack Sachin. But all those friends together caught him, and seeing the power of Hanuman Chalisa, they all played Hanuman Chalisa in their mobiles. At the same time, they started pronouncing it as much as they could understand, due to which the strength of the supernatural power in Amit's body started decreasing. Amit's head started to beat down, and by the time he was completely exhausted and almost unconscious. After that, they relied on Hanuman Chalisa all night. The first thing Sachin did in the morning was to call the man who had helped them camp near the village. He was the local man of the village, Banshi Ram. But Kamal and Amar believed that they should leave the place as soon as possible. If they leave, nothing will happen to them. but Amit was still unconscious. His whole body was burning with fever. In such a situation, Sachin explained to those people that whatever energy he has joined them. Now wherever they go, that energy will go with them. That's why it's so much more. It is important that they leave that place only after getting rid of that energy. About half an hour after Sachin called, Banshiram came there with one of his companions, Mahesh. As soon as he arrived, Sachin told him everything from the beginning and also told the whole story of the night. On hearing Sachin's words, Banshiram was shocked and looking at him with surprised eyes almost shouted, "What are you saying, sir? You went to that ditch temple. Ram Ram Rama Rama Ram. You should not have gone there. You guys know whose temple that temple is. Mahira's." On hearing Mahira's name from Banshiram's mouth, all the friends were very nervous and looking at Banshiram, Parveen asked him, "Mahira, what is this?" Responding to his question, Banshiram said, "Mahira is a god who roams in the mountains who protects the forest from outsiders and from bad people." Giving them information about Mahira, Banshiram said that as soon as he heard her, Manu spoke. "If he is a god, why is he bothering us? What have we done to him?" As soon as you hear Manu's talk, replying came with Banshiram. The other man, Mahesh, said, "You told me that you went to the temple with a ditch. That's where it all started with you guys. This means that you must have gone there and done something wrong." That's when Mahira gets angry. On hearing Mahesh's talk, all the friends started thinking that what did they do by going there that made Mahira angry? Thinking about this and remembering the words spoken by Mahira from Amit's mouth, Sachin suddenly realized that Amit had spoken in the conversation. He went and touched the idol of Mahira. Perhaps because of that, she woke up and Mahira boarded it. He told this to Banshiram and his associate Mahesh and asked them how to get out of this problem. On hearing this, Banshiram said, "Hey sir, you have made a big mistake by teasing Mahira. It has two forms. In one form, he is a deity, so when he becomes furious, he is no less than a demon. He won't let you guys go so easily." On hearing Banshiram's words, Parveen immediately reacted and said, "Hey Banshiram, whatever happened? We didn't do it deliberately. We just went there because of our curiosity. We didn't go to insult the god. If we go there again and apologize to Mahira, won't he forgive us? God can forgive 100 mistakes. Then, they are tiny deities." On hearing this, Banshiram laughed and said, "Hey Sahib, have you ever gone to the office of a government officer? If you've gone, you'll know. There, the babus there beat more than the officer and don't even ask about the peon. There is a difference between God, and there is also a big goddess in that. There is a huge difference between gods like Indra, Agni, Pavan, Devas like Varuna, and the gods and goddesses of small areas and thanas, places. You can easily get forgiveness from elders, but the gods and goddesses of small police stations do not forgive easily." As soon as he heard Banshiram's words, Amar immediately reacted to him and said, "So what do we do now?" Responding to Amar's question, Banshiram's partner Mahesh said, "Forgiveness cannot be easily found, but if you obey Mahira and sacrifice her, then maybe he will leave you." As soon as you hear Mahesh's talk, Parveen panicked and said, "Hey brother, what are you saying? Have you gone crazy? Sacrifice. Where to make the sacrifice? He's going to kill one of us, or not anyone else. Nope. You're talking about getting me killed, brother." Seeing him nervous like this, Banshiram calmed him down. "Hey sir, first listen to the whole thing. To sacrifice means to sacrifice an animal, a goat or a buffalo. Whoever Mahira demands, we have to sacrifice him. But he will have to be persuaded for that too. And this work is the only one. The man can. He is Kaka." As soon as he heard the name of a third man, Manu looked at him with astonished eyes. "Hey brother, who is this uncle now? And how can he please say demon or deity like Mahira?" Responding to his question, Banshiram said, "He is Mahira's disciple. Mahira's ride comes on it. It's early in the morning. Now he will be found in the same temple. You guys come with us. Let's talk to him. Only he can help us in this case." As soon as Banshiram talked about going to that temple, as soon as they heard him, all those friends were shocked. With great difficulty, they somehow escaped from there. Hearing about going to the same temple again, all of them had become cold. But what would he not have done? Those people were forced to go there to escape Mahira's wrath. Every step of those people walking towards that temple was becoming very heavy for them to their friend Amit, who was suffering from terrible fever. Supporting him too, making a big sheet bag and laying him in it, they somehow took him to the temple of that ditch. Where it all started with that, Bansharam and Mahesh speak to Mahira's priest Kaka and tell him everything. On hearing this, Kaka was a little angry at those people at first. He said that people who do not know about that should not have got entangled with that thing. But on Bansharam's persuasion, he invoked Mahira by doing some of his rituals, and in a few moments his body started screaming loudly. He was also banging his head as loudly as Amit had been the previous night. Mahira reprimanded all those friends as soon as they came into her body. "Why woke me up? Why did you wake me up? I'm not going to leave you guys. I won't leave." On this, Bansharam apologized to him and said, "Forgive your majesty. Forgive these people. These people are not mountain people. Don't know about you. That's why they made a mistake. These people are here to apologize to you." Saying this, Bansharam gestured to apologize to those people. As soon as he got his signal, all those friends knelt in front of Mahira, sitting in Kaka's body, and folded their hands and apologized, saying, "Please forgive us. We're here for you. They didn't come here to insult or harass you. We were just a little surprised to see your statue. That's why our friend Amit made a mistake to touch your idol. Please forgive us. We are ready to do whatever you say. Just forgive us and heal our friend Amit." Saying this, they all bowed down in front of Mahira and prostrated her. When he apologized, Mahira calmed down a bit and said with a roar, "Forgiveness. You will get forgiveness, but on one condition, you have my idol. Touching me has disturbed my sleep. It has woken me up for no reason. So now I'm feeling hungry. I want a sacrifice. I want blood. I want raw meat." After hearing these things from Mahira's mouth, all those friends were blown away. His aggressive form looked so terrifying, even though he was in Kaka's body, that the soul of those people trembled. His roaring loud talk, being aggressive, and constantly smashing his head while bouncing loudly was terrifying for him. And at that, his demand made them tremble badly. Seeing his spontaneity, his frightening style, they did not dare to say a word more. In such a situation, helping him, Bansharam agreed on his behalf. "Yes, yes, Maharaj, you tell me. Tell me, my lord, who do you want to sacrifice? Goat or buffalo?" Mahira then demanded the meat of a fat buffalo from him and said that he would free Amit's body from its influence as soon as his demand was met. With this said, Mahira leaves Kaka's body. Mahira K. It is said that Bansharam and Mahesh arranged a big buffalo by taking money from them, and that evening Mahira was sacrificed that buffalo in the same temple under the supervision of Kaka. Here Mahira's demand was fulfilled. On the other hand, Amit recovered completely. His body was as hot as coals, without any medicine, without a doctor. Seeing this, his other friends Sachin, Manu, Kamal, Parveen, and Amar heaved a sigh of relief. After completing all the rituals there, all those friends ran away from there in such a way that then they turned around and went for a walk in the mountains again, and he gave up on camping. That one night made them see Yamlok in such a way that the memories of that night do not erase from the minds of those people. But the best thing among all this was that all those friends returned to their homes safely, and Mahira also kept her word. Since that day, they have never seen Mahira even in their dreams. But yes, in the midst of all this, a buffalo of 60 to 70,000 definitely got embraced, because of which the lives of all those people were saved. And only then did those people understand that what they do not know about should ever be done. You shouldn't be teased. Otherwise, sitting in the same way, trouble gets embraced. They were lucky that whatever happened to them that night was horrific but not fatal. Otherwise, anything could have happened. Thinking about this, all those friends are still as afraid as they were that night. So friends, you should often research those things thoroughly before going to a new place and about the hilly areas of Himachal. I have told you a lot of stories even before, that which was quite real, and this story was also quite real. It's real. Some friends actually have had experience there. However, the best part was that all of them were saved. No one was harmed, and they got a good lesson for the future. So friends, this was our story today. Do tell us how you like the story by commenting. And those who have not yet subscribed to the channel must subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself and your family. I, your friend, will meet you soon with a new story. Thank you.